Good afternoon and welcome on in to this afternoon's episode of From Day One. The courtrooms are in session, and today we actually combined the courtrooms with our favorite morons in court, aka sovereign citizens, to have today's combination with good old Father Mike from Mall Talk with Mike in the middle of Summerfest. So let's begin as we rock through Dominion.
In Funny Court Hearings number 1, I'll put a link in the description below.
Thank you. Alright, we did Mr. Davis. Let's go to Mr. Young on page 18, 19, and 20.
Judge, he should be approaching. I spoke to him earlier this morning. He does not want the public defenders to represent him. He's going to be representing himself pro se.
So in other words, he's an idiot.
We all know this train wreck isn't going to work, but let's watch it unfold.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
No.
The dogs get it.
The dogs don't get it.
We went through this before with Mr. Young, I believe. Mr. Romero, he was up previously and he couldn't get through the Ferretta inquiry that I tried to go through. He's going to have...
The Ferretta inquiry, by the way, for those uninitiated. Sorry, I caught myself right when I was taking a drink. Is basically a series of questions able to say that the person knowingly, on their own tuition, does accept those responsibilities that comes just being your own lawyer in these kind of situations.
He's going to have to file a motion in order to have his division judge deem him fit to represent himself, Mr. Romero. So this morning I'm asking you to step in and represent him. I remember what we went through last time. We were up on the other allegations, Mr. Romero. So I'm asking you to step in.
Section 4.
All right, I'm keeping him muted, guys. Keep him muted because he's disruptive and he disrupted the court before, and he had numerous outbursts. So, Mr. Romero, please represent him for the purpose of today's hearings on page 18 through 19, 20.
Judge, I will follow the court's order. If I could have 1 moment to attempt to speak to him again then.
All right, not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
So far, this hearing is going just fine with the defendant's microphone muted and the public defender speaking on his behalf.
Yeah, the public defender's like, if I gotta speak and say, at least give me another crack.
All right, Miss Lindsay, just let me know if you're back and we can get started. Thank you.
Yeah, good, I'm back. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, Mr. Romero, did you have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Young?
I did, Judge, and Judge, in speaking with Mr. Young, he once again wanted me to reiterate the point that he does not want me to represent him. He wants to represent himself, and I did tell him I would go ahead and that would be the first thing I would address on the record.
All right, I understand. All right, Mr. Young, let me address him.
Yeah, bring the idiot up, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Young, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Mr. Young, it's my understanding that you wish to represent yourself, correct?
What's your name? I don't know your name. Oh, Mrs. Blackman.
No. Her name is not Mrs. Blackman. Her name is Your Honor, Your Lordship, Your Excellency, or as I like to refer to her, my Edikins. Whoa. Hold on. One second. Let me move these things over. Okay, now you can come up. Oh, I got the little Edikins. Cute little bundle of joy. All right, let's listen to the idiot be an idiot. Let's get him going. Let's laugh at them together.
And we're off with a horrible start.
Yeah, we're picking our people.
To address me as something other than my name, and I'm not going to address you properly.
It's Judge Blackman, sir.
Judge Tabitha Blackman, I'd like for you address me as Noel, and I also like to
Okay.
be under the grandfather clause of 1867 that Nina just mentioned with the Peonage Act, and then also I'm accepting, since I'm representing myself, I'm accepting all charges.
So in other words, he's a soft shit as well, Eddie. That means he's dumber than the cats who go ahead and try to take over your Paw Patrol
I'm
group.
also reserving all my rights and remedies without subject matter jurisdiction leaving me.
Tell him he don't even know what that
So
means.
with that being said, I also would like to appoint you, Judge Tabitha Blackman, as my fiduciary trustee.
Say no.
This is quickly becoming my favorite
Tell him no.
crazy substitute routine. He does a nice job here, but it's not as good as this guy.
I'm sorry?
I declined a request for me to be your trustee. Noel Young, they are charged
I'm not the trustee for the case.
burglary, unoccupied structure, unarmed. I wish you the best of everything. Eric Solomon.
Look at his
Eric
female.
Solomon. Eric Solomon.
He command you.
Eric Solomon. Thank you.
To close, settle, and release all proceeds to me immediately under, and I would like to incite Title 50, Stat 40, 35, B2. For
Bingo? B2?
full acquittance
Do you have B2, Eddie?
without recourse, and
Do
today's
you have
date,
B2?
I think it's April the 9th, 2021.
I don't have any.
Wow.
I don't have any
I think he's got 27
button
charges
pushing
against
power
him,
yet
and
on
he
this
wants
account.
to appoint the judge
I'm
as,
building some up.
trustee,
When I do, if you want to go shooting after some
discharge all the charges
coins, we will.
and maybe get
But
some
I don't
money.
have any honey
I
yet.
don't know. It's really out there.
I gotta earn
All
some
right,
honey.
sir, I haven't made a determination yet whether you can represent yourself. As I tried to do last time you were up, I needed to go through what's called a Paretta inquiry.
Which means
Do you
he'll probably
remember when I
fail.
tried to go through the questions? I need to
Tell him
answer
he's gonna
these
fail.
questions as I asked them in order for me to make
You ready?
a
Let's laugh at him,
determination as to
see how
whether
bad he
you can
fails.
represent yourself, okay?
Okay, here
I'm
we go
really
with the
impressed
questions.
This Judge Tabitha Blackman, she's doing a very good job here. She's really maintained her calm through all this. She knows exactly what's
Yeah,
going
let's
on.
laugh
She
at him,
knows
see how
that
bad
this
he
guy's
does,
not
okay?
capable of representing himself, but
Okay,
she's
here
going
he
to go
goes
through
with
it on the
failing
record
question
and do it
number
the
1.
proper way, and she really has
Okay,
good
this guy
judicial
tells him
demeanor.
about it. Okay,
I
here we go.
never understood what you was talking about the last time because you weren't a part of the case. And I always want to tell you that if you are asked you, are you licensed to practice nursing, to give those kind of, telling me instructions to go get screened for medical.
Yeah.
Do you have a medical license?
Do you have an Eddie
Sir,
license?
please answer the questions as I ask them to you. If you fail to respond appropriately, I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you and not allow you to represent yourself, okay?
So let's see how bad he does. Here we go.
Okay, the first question is, have you ever studied law?
Have you ever studied law, Eddie?
Yes.
He said
I
yes.
These are yes or no questions.
What, you went down?
okay? Have you ever represented yourself
Come
in
here,
a criminal
come here.
action?
I just gotta get her down, folks. Just a second.
Do you
There you go.
understand the charges against you? There are 27 listed today. Do
That's
you
a lot of
understand
charges.
Each and every charge against you, sir.
I don't understand each and every one of them. No.
Mike?
I really like this. This is beautiful. The sovereign citizens love to say they don't understand.
That
and
should
it's like
fail
it's
him
a
right
cute
there, right?
wordplay. But in this circumstance, it has a very specific legal meaning. She's asking him questions, and if you answer them the wrong way, then you can't represent yourself. And saying
Wipe
you don't
out.
understand the charges against you is definitely answering it the wrong way if you want to represent yourself.
Okay, are you aware of the maximum penalty for each charge?
No, I'm not aware of the maximum penalties for each charge.
Okay, are you familiar with the exact legal elements for each charge?
No, I do not understand the elements of the charges, ma'am.
Okay, do you realize that if you're found guilty of more than one of these crimes, this may result in an order that orders you to be sentenced consecutively? That means one after another.
Well, I can say to you...
It's a yes or no question, sir.
No, Your Honor, because I'm not the entity and I wish not to participate in religious ceremony or even to do
All right, so based on his answers, I do not believe that he meets the threshold. I haven't even gotten through all of the questions to represent himself. He doesn't understand the severity of the charges. He doesn't understand what the charges are, the severity of the maximum penalties. He's not familiar with the legal elements. At this time, the court does not find that he meets the requirements under Feretta v. California, 422 U.S. 806.
She did a really nice job there. She just made a great record. He obviously cannot represent himself. His answers made that very much so clear. I'm not familiar with this particular set of questions because I don't do this, but it looks like it's a
simple
standard set of questions to determine whether or not you can represent yourself, and he clearly can.
From 1975 to represent himself. Mr. Romero, so that means that I am provisionally appointing your office to represent him, sir. I maintain the finding that have been signed by the original judge that signed the warrant on counts 1 through 27. Are you waiving reading of counts 1 through 27, or do you want me to go through them one at a time because I can't?
I'll waive.
All right, so with regards 1 through 27, there's already been an order put into place by the judge that signed the warrant with regards to requirements for each of the counts. Mr. Garcia is the state just requesting that I leave those requirements in place, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Romero, do you have any legal objection to me leaving the requirements set by Judge Robolo in place?
Well, Judge, legal requirements is obviously he's having his magistrate hearing. Those are just bonds that were set in place by the judge who signed the warrant. Obviously, you can revisit those. So at this time, pursuant to my conversations with Mr. Young, there's no way, from what he advised me, that anyone's going to be able to post his monetary bond. My understanding is, as the court pointed out, I believe he was here before the court recently. He was arrested in these conditions. From what he advised me, at this time he is residing with his father. And from what he advised me, he wants to participate in his defense. From what he advised me, he's going to be incarcerated with these types of bonds. He's not going to be able to participate in his defense because he's going to be locked up. So, Judge, he is asking for the court to consider reducing the bond for
and like this guy who doesn't understand what his case is. Kitty's in for your spot.
My understanding is, being with this gentleman, I believe he has several medical issues. So I am going to be asking for a medical screening order on his behalf, Judge.
Okay, we can do the medical screening,
order.
but he's staying in jail.
Judge Robolo's total bond amount of $240,000 to be more than reasonable.
$240,000.
For just this reason, it shows the difference between somebody representing themselves, especially somebody who's got crazy sovereign citizen ideas in their brain, versus an actual professional. This is a public defender, and he handled that with grace and style. Waives the reading. We don't need to read 27 charges. They have them in writing. They know what they are. It's not helping his client to spend a half hour reading the charges out in court. And then he makes a reasonable request to try to reduce the bond. It sort of doesn't get anywhere, but he doesn't have a good argument, but he makes the best argument available. It's clear to me that he's a good, competent defense attorney, and he also does get the judge to order a medical evaluation for him, which is required. None of these things would have been done, as you can tell from the little bit when he was representing himself.
When the allegations are that he stole more than $1,232,360, and all of Judge Robolo's
wait, how much did he steal?
Shall remain.
Over 1.3 million?
But not
Dude, I want 10% of that.
Collateralization. All properties used for
hell, I'll take 1%.
Not be further encumbered or liquidated during the pending of the proceedings. The state can't object to any nebia provided. Paragraph 6 remains. Paragraph 7 remains with regards to the surety that shall be provided within 10 days. Is to be monitored by pretrial release level 1, lockdown, no alcohol, no drugs, random testing, no driving. He shall not possess any firearms. He shall surrender his passport and may not reapply. He shall also have no contact with any of the alleged victims, direct or indirect. Is there anything else from Mr. Romero or Mr. Garcia on his case? All right, good luck to you, sir. Be in touch with your attorney. You'll have to file a motion to represent yourself with your division judge so that the division judge can also go through the Feretta inquiry. Good luck to you, sir.
Don't worry, and you'll fill it then, too.
Page 21.
Well, there you have it. I thought that was a really interesting...
All right, Mike, I will leave you there. Thank you very much. And really, there isn't that much more here to do, so we're just going to leave this episode as it is. Of course, we'll have our auditors, frauders, subsits, and Karens in the evening, and Art Bell in the final of the remote viewing in the overnight. Till then, like, share, and subscribe help get us to the goal of 50,000 views and 1,000 subscribers. So Boxy sends us nice red packages we can send off to all of you, and Google puts us on the algorithms. And until next time, make sure you do love one another, be kind to one another. If we were all just a little bit kinder, of course this world would be a lot better of a place. And always release the Krakens as we march along this afternoon and every afternoon, here from day one. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight.